just watched the film last night and I loved it. I thought it was great. So I'm very excited to talk to you.
Thank you so much.
So to start off, I know it opens by saying it's based on a true story. So of course I have to know what the true story is and then where you picked it up and put your own spin on it from there.
So the true story, I mean, me and Oskar was looking to do a horror feature, and we came in contact with a family who lived up north in Sweden, and they had a really bad and scary experience a few years back. No children were killed. I mean, we made the story really more gruesome, but the inspiration came from their experience. And I think what shocked me and Oskar a bit, because I don't think we really believe in ghosts or stuff like that, but we were a bit shocked by them seeing to be just ordinary people living their ordinary lives and having this really crazy and scary experience. So much of the inspiration came from that. And also, I live in a duplex and our neighbors moved out. So the other side of the house stood empty. And I started hearing sounds coming from that empty side of the house and footsteps in the stair. And first I thought it was my kids coming down, but the kids were asleep. And I realized like someone is walking on the other side on the empty side of the stairway. And it was probably, I never got an explanation, probably was just neighbors taking measures late night, whatever. But all this like came together and became the evil next door.
It sounds like you're doing a little rationalizing there. You're not sure you want to believe in your own spirits next door.
Because I still live in that.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I would probably do the same.
And now you have these screamings at night, but I guess that's just your neighbors practicing.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
It's fine. Just practicing screaming at night, so it's just fine.
I also have the same kind of attic, so I mean.
Those are very creepy attics. I grew up in a house like that, so. How did you come up with the idea for your very creepy shape-shifting entity that comes after the family?
I think, didn't we just sit down and think about what we thought was the scariest type of, if this could be a creature that would fit in our story, how would it be the scariest? And I think that's just how we started it. And then like in terms of look and all that. And then when we found Troy, who does all these insane, like twisty things, the contortionist things, we just added that to that look in a sense, and he could do all the things that we thought were so scary and just add more like twitches and things to that. So that's it's not like based on anything real, but just what would be the scariest. Like, and also I think our own ideas in a sense.
And the whole shape-shifting idea also came from us wanting to play with this like idea of a ghost child. We need to rescue the ghost child. He's haunted by something more evil, like in The Conjuring or whatever. And we wanted to play with that and just make it like the kid is the bad. He's the real bad guy. And that's why we went with the shape-shifting character or entity.
And so you had like some contortionist stuff put in there, but then actually the actor sort of inspired like additional like creepy movements in that.
Yeah, I think like we couldn't imagine how creepy you could be, I think. Because when we planned the look for it, we wanted to put the head upside down, so you could walk normally, but he could walk and run and jump like this. And so we didn't have to do that. But it's just, yeah, we knew we wanted twitchy motions. And we thought that we had to do that in camera, like, deleting frames or retiming and stuff. But that wasn't, we tried.
He did it by himself.
Just find some guy to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in the editing, I thought the editor had done that at times, but no, it was all Troy doing.
Wow, that's impressive.
great or horrible. How you that's
Yeah, it's both. It's both, I think. And the sound effects too, all of the crunching and the.
Oh yeah. We really worked hard on that because it was just we were sitting in that mixing theater for 10 hours a day for weeks actually and doing those sounds, and it's really fun, but it's also horrible because you just do it over and over again, and it's really loud when you see your ears get a pounding.
Yeah, I don't know if I could handle that. That really gets to me, all of the like bone crunching and all that.
yeah, we picked the things that gave us like a visceral reaction, and then we just but you forget that after a week, so you just have to remember how you reacted the first time to this thing, and
I mean it's also so hard because it's like, yeah, me and Oskar told the sound designers like, yeah, we want bone crunching. And okay, this is the sound of a bone crunching, and that's not anything near what we wanted.
Oh, that sounds like you're twitching a toothpick.
Yeah, so like 20 different sounds to make that one sound of bone and flesh changing places. And so I mean that was a really tough experience, and it went a lot of hard work went into that.
Absolutely. This is obviously a horror film, but it's also very emotionally grounded. Like the family relationship is super strong and ultimately really drives the movie. So is that something that you came up with from the start? You knew you wanted that to be a strong theme, or did that sort of develop as you created this family and this story?
No, I think we began with, we knew that we wanted to make the type of horror film where it's horror and family, because that, I think that's the scariest things. I mean, and also really Swedish, but I don't know if you can tell, but the house, that could be my parents' house. It could be Tord's house. It could be my friend's house. Even in Stockholm, the capital, or in my hometown, that's much smaller, not even a city. It could be in those neighborhoods, and we really wanted that from the beginning. And then so we found that as the emotional side of the story, like basically from the beginning, like and what would it be like to be a step parent with things being not okay, but not too large. Just it can't compete with the horror, and to find that balance. But and that took, it was hard work getting that balance right, I think. To not, as all Swedish films are always drama, so everyone wants to push that part and like expand that, but we're making a horror film, so we have to walk on that small, like tiny ledge, balancing those things, I think.
I think you did it well. I think it worked for me, so I'm excited for other people.
We did that, and then we balanced it in the editing. No, but it was written. No, we figured it out, but it was a process. It took months.
Did you know from the beginning that you wanted the movie to have this sort of, I would say, optimistic ending? I mean, ultimately the family, everyone survives. They're going to make it out of the house. They're going to stay together, and horror movies don't always end that way. So is that something that you intended from the start?
Yeah, I mean, we really want, because there's the core of the movie is the relationship between them, and we really wanted the happy ending, and that was so we had that discussion on how to kill the entity or the monster. Like if it's a vampire, you use light. How do you kill a ghost? Can you fight with it? What's the struggle? And then we realized that like the secret weapon, the shield, or whatever you want, the sword, the magic sword for Shirin, is her declaration of love for this kid that isn't her own. And when we said that out loud, we realized, okay, this is going to have to be the ending of the movie, and this is how we're going to put use to the song that only the father and I mean in the movie the song comes from Luca's mother, and this is what she uses to bring him back to life. In our perspective, he is dead, and when she accepts to become his new mother, or take that place and fully love him, he comes back to life, and that's the real ending that we wanted for the movie. So yeah.
I love that. I thought the ending was great. It made me
That's
very
good.
emotional.
And I think we both like optimistic endings too, because so much horror films are not optimistic in the end, because they want to add like that little bit of, and I think that leaves you with something. It lessens the film a little bit sometimes, or just it can be great. Sometimes that just fits, but
I mean, that's also, it's also storytelling. It's basic storytelling. Does your character, have they repented? Have they paid for their sins? Are they allowed to live or not? I mean, and she has paid for her sins, and she is allowed to live. So we could have that. But I mean, we love happy endings.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I felt so bad for her the whole time. I was like, this poor woman is just really going through it.
That's good, because not everyone, some male reviewers see it as like she's an unsympathetic character, not insanely much, but I'd say more than you. And like for us, it's like she's a normal person. She's a little bit, maybe she's not jumping on the steps on wagon in 5 seconds, but that doesn't make you a bad person. I think it's just she's a little cautious or something. But I mean, it's not,
and she's our main character, so we're rooting for her.
Exactly.
And it's not like she's mean. She's not mean.
No, but I think that's interesting that you say that, because a lot of guys, they are saying that, yeah, she's so, she's such a like a mean character, and then she comes around. And I think and many women sees it differently, and I think we're more about that perspective of the character.
Absolutely.
That's how we intended it. Yeah.
Good. That's really interesting. Thanks for that perspective. I will be on the lookout for the other reviews and see who I have to fight. Yeah. All right. I think that's my time today. Thank you both so much for talking with me. I'm excited to go share this movie with everyone.
Yes.
Great. Thank you so much.